This is a weird place. I don't want to talk too loudly because I don't know how thick the walls are. I'm currently at the reproductive place to leave a sperm sample for analysis. Beth told me to vlog it, so I brought my little camera. Here I am. It's kind of weird, whatever. So let's take a look at the room. Well, I am back. Mission accomplished. I did what I needed to do. I made it home. I tried to record this part at the place. They had a nice little, sitting area with flowers and stuff, but there were so many people walking by, and I don't want to put anyone on the internet that doesn't want to be on the internet, especially if they're going to like a reproductive therapist or something like that. So I decided to just do this part here. It was one of the more awkward situations of my life. I don't know how you make it less awkward though. It's just one of those things. They did give the option of taking the sample at home and then bringing the cup with you as long as you could bring it within an hour. And due to my work schedule, the hours I work, that would have put me taking my sample at work. Which would be potentially more awkward than that. So I just left an hour early, did my thing, and it's all good. Now I'm home. So they said it takes about 2 weeks to get the results, and she told me that they would discuss it over the phone. So I guess we'll see what they have to say in 2 weeks.
So I am currently in downtown Charlotte, and I got a phone call from my hubby earlier, and he has preliminary semen analysis results. Ooh, sexy talk, y'all. He went in for his analysis on Thursday, and yesterday they called him, but because I was doing an Aruba turn and was in the air for 8 hours, I did not get to talk to him last night, but I got to talk to him today. So there's 3 main things they test for, which are the number of sperm, the motility or movement of the sperm, because they have to get to where they're going, and the morphology or shape of the sperm, because if they have, they're supposed to have a head and a tail. If they have 2 heads, then it's not going to work, and if they have 2 tails might actually work. I don't know, but his preliminary results were the motility and the number. So I'm not exactly sure what an average is, but he had 240 something million sperm in the sample. Overachiever there, huh? And I think he said 50 something percent of those motility. So they said on the phone to him that that was above average. Go honey. No, it's good news. It's good news. I'm excited that he has super sperm. It does, however, kind of put everything back on me. Like if his boys are good, his swimmers are good, that means that there's a reason why they're not getting where they're going. Now, granted, he doesn't have his morphology back yet, or the shape, which could impact fertility, but it's looking like he's a-okay. As you know, we got the results back about my progesterone levels, which did say that I did ovulate, but now we just have to move forward and see where the kink in the chain is, There's a couple tests that can be done. There's a HS something that where they put dye into the female reproductive organs and make sure that dye is then traveling down the fallopian tube, so that if there's a blockage there, they can figure that out. That might be something that we look into, especially because our insurance pays for it, but I've heard it's uncomfortable. So So I'm not looking forward to doing that by any means. But I guess the next step we're going to do is we are going to, in September, because we can't during August because I'm on reserve and I will be flying a lot. But during September, we are going to start me on a drug called Clomid, which is supposed to make me super ovulate. Super ovulate! Sounds exciting, huh? Super sperm, super ovulation. I don't know, guys. Looking pretty good. So that's the next step. And then if that doesn't work, we'll just keep moving forward. But yeah, super sperm. Nice. Go, honey. So today is July 31st. And I'm currently in my Miami hotel. Tomorrow's my birthday. And I got 2 phone calls today. The first was from Aaron, and he said he got the rest of his results on his semen analysis, sperm analysis, and his morphology, or the shape of his little guys, is perfect. So overall, his sample was above average in all 3 categories, which is fantastic news. He's always above average in everything. And then I got a phone call from my doctor, and it was not good. As I said before, I did the ultrasound and things looked pretty good, and they did the progesterone test, which proved that I was ovulating, so that was good. But they did another test called an AMH test, and that test basically gives them idea of your egg reserve. Women have a finite number of eggs. Like, however many they have is just however many they have, and once they run out, that's it, no more. So this test determines how many you have left, and basically it's like a scale of 1.0 to 5.0. 5 is very, very good, and 4 is good, and 3 is okay, and 2 is fair, and 1 is bad. And my results were 0.2. So she basically said, it's a really good thing that you didn't come to me 6 months or a year from now, because we have very, very little time left. And I don't know if we actually have very little time left or time has run out. So it was, you know, when she first told me, I don't know if I was just in shock or what, but I was just like, okay, all right, okay. But slowly over a few hours, it started to kind of dawn on me what that meant, that the chances are incredibly low at this point that I will be able to have a biological child of my own. Because Aaron's sperm is as good as it is, he's still in the running to have a biological child of his own, but us having a child together is probably not going to happen biologically. So that was really hard to hear, and I actually kept it together until I talked to Aaron, and then telling him, you know how when someone dies or you have some bad news, a lot of times you're okay until you tell someone else, and then that makes it kind of real. I think that's what happened. Or, you know, like, I've always found at funerals I'm okay until someone hugs me, and then I kind of fall apart. So of course he was super supportive and said, this doesn't mean anything, I still love you very much, we'll get through this, it's not a death sentence, you know, there's still a chance. But it's still really hard to hear, because it is. So the doctor suggested that we go ahead with the artificial insemination in September. We can't do it in August because I'm on reserve. So in September we will be doing the artificial insemination with the super ovulation medication to go with it. So
that's what we're going to do in September. I don't know exactly what it entails just yet. It's not the shots. That's a different type of thing. But hopefully when we do this, we'll see with this medication how many eggs, how I will respond, and how my eggs, if I have any left, will respond to that. And then that will tell us whether it will even be worth it to move on to IVF. From the research I've done online, some clinics will not even consider you as a candidate for IVF if your AMH is below 1, and mine's 0.2. So IVF may not even be on the table. And what comes after that is either a donor egg, or which means, you know, I could still potentially carry a child, but it just won't be related to me in any way. Or a donor embryo, which means I would carry the child again, but it would not be related to either me or Aaron. So those are some options that are still on the table. But it's hard. It's really, really hard. I'm still in my 30s. So, not even in my late 30s, even though tomorrow's my birthday. So it was not a pleasant birthday phone call, but it's much lower than it should be, and there's no particular reason why, but that's difficult, especially if you do it the right way. If you wait until you find a person that you want to be married to, and you marry that person, and then you start having a baby, and you do all the steps in the order that we're supposed to do them in, and then come to find out that, no, I probably, if I were going to have my own baby, should have done it 10 years ago. So that's tough. That's a tough thing. So we'll find a way to get through it. It's just a roadblock, but that's the update.